All right, let's just dive right in. Today's explainer is, well, it's a bit different. I want you to literally put yourself in the shoes of the Inquisitor. Picture it, a grim, almost graphic novel-style investigation into a decaying societal kingdom. We're not here to just take the scenic route. We are conducting a methodical, philosophical deep dive into the very nature of reality itself. So, let's crack open this dark, fascinating text.
The stones of this kingdom are made of lies. What a hook, right? As the Inquisitor, you instantly realize that the kingdom we're auditing here isn't, a physical place made of actual stone and mortar. It's a structure built entirely on collective refusal. We're talking about a society propped up by shared illusions. And we're going to break down exactly how that architecture stands up and, more importantly, how it completely falls apart.
Moving into Section 1, the semantic construct and invisible agreements. Let's see how this actually defines the very ground we're walking on as we kick off the first phase of our audit.
So, what exactly is this semantic construct? Well, the source material argues that the word civilization itself acts like a veil. It's a cover-up, hiding true human connection. Imagine the streets aren't paved with cobblestones, but with invisible agreements. These are those unspoken rules we all just blindly follow. It's kind of like the unwritten rule of where to stare when you're awkwardly standing in a crowded elevator, right? These silent agreements literally dictate when we're supposed to weep and when we're supposed to smile.
They call this the architecture of the uncanny. Picture two opposing forces. On one side, you have the painted heights. That's the fresh, glossy paint of societal illusion, sanity, and so-called decency. Right beneath that fresh coat, the silent rot. This massive ontological void. It's a hollow sham. Think of it like a beautiful old house where the structural wood is just silently decaying right under your feet, just waiting for one single, genuine presence to lean against a wall and bring the whole thing crashing down.
Which brings us to part 2, the interrogation, meeting the jester. As our audit gets deeper, you, the Inquisitor, step out from the mechanical, everyday performance of order. You emerge as an honest witness to confront the one guy who's actively disrupting the whole illusion.
You step right up to the jester and issue a direct challenge. You ask, "I have noticed how your bells awake mercurial spirits. Are your disruptions a genuine signal, or are they merely nuisances without a cause? Basically, are you just breaking the peace for the sake of breaking it?"
And the jester, he fires right back. He says, the signifier of sanity is a hollow sham, masking an ontological void. Boom. He's arguing that our consensus reality is completely empty at its core. He's saying that just one, single, genuine human presence, someone honestly leaning against a wall without acting out the expected social script, is more than enough to expose the structural decay and the absolute rot of the kingdom.
All right, part 3, the triadic ritual, 3 dances of deconstruction. Because the jester doesn't just sit around mocking people, he actually performs a highly methodical ritual to strip away all that societal legitimacy.
Here we map out the exact 3 movements the jester uses to challenge society, using nothing but masks and mirrors. He systematically targets grief, then wealth, and finally commerce, totally dismantling the illusions holding the societal structure together. Let's break these down one by one.
In the first dance, the jester basically weaponizes laughter right in the place where the kingdom comes to grieve. He completely shatters this pretense of sorrow. To put it in terms we all understand today, think of performative death. When digital spectators post empty thoughts and prayers on a social media timeline. It's just a phonological script, words without any genuine feeling behind them. And the jester? He exposes it for the sham that it is.
Then comes the second movement. Here, the jester holds up a mirror directly to the elite. He forces the nobility to look right past their gilded, fancy shelves and actually see their own parasitic reflection hiding within all that hoarded wealth. He's totally stripping away the illusion that they are somehow inherently superior.
The third dance takes us right into the commercial shrines. This is where the jester confronts the void. It's a place where fast, endless transactions have completely replaced any deep teleological questions about meaning or purpose. It is incredibly similar to the modern-day numbness of mindless consumer scrolling, right? We just rapidly buy, trade, and click, trying to fill a void that honestly can never actually be filled.
Moving into part 4, the ontological audit, a dark collaboration. Through these 3 dances, the jester translates that performative death into a sudden, incredibly sharp breath of realization. And this prompts you, the Inquisitor, to stop just standing there observing and to actually join forces with him.
So how does this dark collaboration actually work? Well, the jester and the Inquisitor team up to perform a literal, full-scale ontological audit.
Together, they dissolve that semantic veil separating the disruptor from the observer. They refract the light of the uncanny straight through the royal halls, merging their presence into one singular, genuine weight, pressing against a structure that's entirely built on collective refusal.
By witnessing both the parasite of the elite and the void of the marketplace at the exact same time, they solidify the truth. They take the jester's weaponized smile and transform it into a permanent scripture. It becomes this undeniable, glaring reality that the kingdom's leadership literally cannot ignore anymore.
And that brings us to part 5, the void of authority. As our audit wraps up, we turn our investigation's final focus onto the ultimate target, the kingdom's actual foundation of power.
The foundation of power is completely unmasked. And guess what? It is not some immutable divine right. Not at all. It's merely a stone of truths that the citizenry has collectively agreed to just drop. Every single throne rests on this suppressed etymology of reality where the word decency has completely devoured the actual real substance of virtue. The signifier is still there, sure, but the meaning? It's entirely gone.
Once the jester's manifesto finishes up and this brutal truth is laid bare, the aftermath is immediate, and it's freezing. The entire kingdom just plummets into a state of absolute semantic paralysis. All those invisible agreements that were holding everything together, they just evaporate into thin air.
Imagine it from the High Minister's perspective. His entire reality has just shattered into a million pieces. He's absolutely terrified by the undeniable ontological void staring right back at him, so he desperately retreats into denial. He gets trapped in this frantic mechanical liturgy of just straightening his cuff. It's a completely meaningless, trivial physical gesture, done solely to avoid looking directly into the abyss of his own lost power.
Our narrative audit concludes with this incredibly chilling observation from the Lord Chamberlain. As he stares off into the middle distance, his empty gaze serves as an ocular confession. It finalizes the structural collapse of the kingdom. It's absolute proof that the space where authority once resided is now filled by, well, absolutely nothing at all.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer. But I want to leave you with a question, and it's a big one. If the stones of authority in this kingdom are really just dropped truths, what invisible agreements are you walking on right now? What semantic constructs are quietly framing your everyday reality? Thank you so much for joining me on this ontological audit. Keep questioning the architecture around you.